We're going to be doing Earth signs today, starting with Taurus. Happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. And I hope everything's all going well with y'all. For any Tauruses that might be watching this, let's see what's your mid-month messages for May. Okay. What are some messages for Taurus? What are some messages for Taurus? Got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. What else? Okay, there's a bunch that showed itself, but 7 of Cups. Alright, I'm sensing, Taurus, that you kinda are a bit unfocused right now. You're trying to focus, but you're not, because like your mind is kind of like drifting off in a very like wishful way. Excuse me. It seems like you're looking at things that you don't have at the current moment. Things that you really wish that you can have. Kind of like window shopping, like, oh, like you see it on display and it's so close, but yet it's so far away. But it's like the things that you want aren't necessarily things that you need. It might actually be like something in disguise. But regardless, you're still like can't help but want it. And you're not really focused. You're making some like, you might even be a little careless because you're too busy lost in thought about things that you don't have that you want. And it's not necessarily things that you need. Got the Page of Swords in reverse. Tell me more. Tell me more for Taurus, please. Got the Moon. Seven of Pentacles. High Priestess. Two of Cups. One more card, please, for Taurus. Ten of Cups in reverse. Okay, let's read this, shall we? Okay, so we have the Page of Swords in reverse and then the Moon card here. Yeah, there's a point of view. There's a side of you that is kind of like on the defensive towards a certain situation. I feel like this is involving a person or a situation in particular. Towards, I think like you're on the defensive because like sometimes your careless actions gets you into like a mess and you don't want to like own up to it because you might come off a bit incompetent. And yeah, it just seems like you're kind of like lost in thought because of that. I think there's something also that you're afraid of. I don't know if, like, if it's actually real. Like, you have like this irrational fear of something. Maybe you did something and you're trying to keep it a secret and you're afraid of people finding out. But I am getting that with the Moon, that it might reveal itself soon, and that's what you're worried about. There was, in its regards to a situation that you were hoping to grow into, it wasn't necessarily something that was sudden. It was something that you kind of planted seeds for and you were hoping to grow and like see like the fruit of your labor. This came out for all like fire signs readings the other night, but like it's a situation that you kind of had to abandon, that you didn't want to abandon actually. With the High Priestess coming in with that, I do think that you have some awareness and intuition regarding that situation. That's why you kind of had to leave. And I think like whatever happened that you're not really telling people about and you're afraid that it might come out, like I think you're aware that people are gonna find out or already know, and that's why you had to leave something behind. Yeah, there was something that involved a person. This could have been like a partner or a friendship or even a relative. There was someone in particular that you were really close with that ended up being separated from due to like an argument of some sort. Like you separated from somebody. Hi, Sarah. Honestly, guys, this is kind of tea. I'm thinking of someone that this might pertain to because it's resonating. Somebody who is careless right now because they're lost in thought and in their wishful thoughts about things that they want but can't have. Not good for them. There's someone who's on the defensive because they felt incompetent, but they were also very careless and they messed up. And they don't want people to find out, but it seems that they're very afraid that people will find out about something. And this was in regards to a bond that they had like planted seeds for and was hoping to see grow and grow with them, but they couldn't. And they're aware. There's some people that might be aware of what they did, and maybe they're also aware that people are finding out. They're very quiet and they thought they were mysterious, but they weren't. And it seems like they separated from someone, a partnership that they didn't want to leave behind. There was definitely a separation here. Maybe because of an argument. Let's pull out some hidden factors for you, Taurus. What are some hidden factors regarding this person, please? For mid-month messages. What are some things that they're not aware of? Knight of Wands and Queen of Swords. Knight of Wands in reverse. Three of Cups. That's too much. If it's meant to be, it'll come out again. This card again, but in reverse. Hi, Albie. This card came out again, but it's in reverse this time. It's okay. We're doing Taurus hidden factors right now. And it's gonna, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of resonates with someone we know. Alright, let's read this. Taurus. So for your hidden factors, we have the Knight of Wands that came out with that Queen of Swords, but it's in reverse. Then we have the Three of Cups upright, and then the Seven of Cups came out in reverse. 10 of Cups came out again, but in reverse this time, so it's upright. And then we got the Six of Swords, then we have the Lovers in reverse, and then we got the Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, so Knight of Wands and Queen of Swords. Let's address this first. So what you don't know in terms of hidden factors, there has been a delay due to a lot of like scattered energy here. This could pertain to a project, this could be confrontation of some sort, but I do see that you're very frustrated in regards to this delay. With this Queen of Swords energy coming in, there might be a delay with you and another person. I don't necessarily see this as you, but I think somebody here has been very cold towards you, Taurus. Someone who has firm boundaries and has been very direct and very perceptive. Like, they're not someone to mess around with and joke around with. This is someone who's very upset. I see that, like, you wanted to spend time with this person. You wanted to, like, spend time with them and hang out with them with this Three of Cups and celebrate or collaborate on something. But I think you can't, because there have been some things that happened, some choices that you had made that overwhelms you. And it's kind of like affecting like your purpose in life. And it's like, yeah, I think what happened here is like you kind of messed up. You fumbled this situation. And it's coming to terms with you now that like what is important to you and what does make you happy. And it's like this person you wish you could celebrate with them and be with them and hang out with them. And when you're with them, you feel very fulfilled and like happy. But you turned your back on this situation. And it seems like you're transitioning from all that. Like, despite knowing that this was something that made you happy, you're not like going for it. You're kind of running away from it. And you want to like leave it behind. But you're suffering. You're having a hard time with this detachment. Because you were very much like, you had like a lot of investment in this. And you felt really happy in this connection. But right now, you're trying right now to love yourself more than this connection. But it's so hard. Because even when you turn away from it, you can't help but still think about it and see it everywhere you go. But deep down, there is some... I do sense some rivalry of some sort. I'm not sure if you're feeling competitive with some other people that were involved. Or there was a conflict between you and this person that you never got over. And it still makes you upset up to this day. But it seems like conflict is still a thing within this connection that you tried to leave behind. But still can't help but think about. You guys have unfinished business. And it seems like, in terms of hidden factors for the mid-month messages here, Taurus, what I can say is that you're going to probably deal with a conflict that makes you think back on this connection. And, like, be more honest with yourself on how you feel. Like, even if you try to run away, you can't help but think about this bond that made you happy. Because you haven't really felt a fulfillment like that in a long time. Can I get some advice for Taurus, please, for the month of May? Mid-month messages. Ace of Wands in reverse. Three of Wands upright. Five of Cups. That's in reverse. Three of Cups. I'm seeing the 3 come up often. Maybe the number 3 is important. Strength card. Page of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. See these 2 sticking up. 4 of Cups, Knight of Cups. Ace of Cups in reverse. Page of Wands. Ten of Swords. Okay, let's read this advice for you, Taurus. So, in regards to your advice, I'm going to read all the cards that are upright with their description. So that way you have more context for your advice. But I will come back and read the rest of the cards and try to interpret the overall message here, okay? So we got the 3 of Wands. After the planning period of the 2 of Wands, it's time to put those plans into action. Open the doors of opportunity to broaden your scope. Start thinking long-term and be ready to embrace change. Keywords here is preparation, expansion, and enterprise. And then we have strength. In contrast to the physical willpower of the Chariot, strength is about overcoming difficulties through inner strength. Strength is about taming your inner beast to let your inner voice shine through. Your strength gives you the confidence to overcome any growing fears, challenges, or doubts. Keywords is inner strength, balance, and power. Then we got the Knight of Cups. The ever-charming Knight of Cups is a man in touch with his intuition and uses his heart rather than his head to guide him through life. He is also a man of adventure. Now is the time to start exploring and putting your dreams and passions to action. Keywords here is romance, adventure, charm, and intuition. And those are all the cards that are upright. So I'm going to try to interpret all the messages here for you, Taurus. So starting with this area here, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse and then the Three of Wands upright. So I'm sensing that there is a lack of motivation happening here for you. There is no action happening and you might be a bit bored because of that. But like, you know, just hang tight because there's a lot that you should be preparing for. There's going to be more expansion soon. Maybe in the workplace you might be finding yourself planning to travel more. So like, you know, don't worry, like you're going to be busy soon. So just enjoy the peace while you can. Then you have the Five of Cups in reverse and then the Three of Cups in reverse. So there's a part of you that has... It seems like you have a very tough mentality. And it's like there's a part of you that's really stubborn. But like there's a part of you that needs to find peace. Like you need to accept that things happen the way they did. And give forgiveness and where it's granted. Where it's warranted, actually. I'm not sure if this person did anything that hurt your feelings, but there's a part of you that needs to move on from this, and in order to do that, you have to accept things the way they were, stop being stubborn, and forgive in order to move on. I think like because of the lack of commitment, there is like a part of you that's struggling with like being strong, but like deep down, like you are very empowered to do whatever you want. You have that strength card like balancing you. Like you have power, but you also have inner strength. It's just like when to use it is what I think you're having issues with. I think you're going through some introspection deep down about like how strong you can be in this situation. Then you have the Queen of Pentacles coming in and the Four of Cups. So this is showing that like a part of you feels isolated though from this whole situation. That you have with this person. There is a part of you that is possessive and you know that, and it's like when you're so focused on someone else, you start to self-neglect a lot with that Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Like instead of like focusing on yourself, you're focusing on others a little too much, and it comes to the point where it's like somewhat smothering, you could say, how you can be. But the other person isn't like that, and that's why you feel kind of like isolated, because it's like it's not like a two-way street, it's a one-way street when it comes to that kind of like focus. With that Knight of Cups though, like there's a part of you that wants to have romance, you want to have like adventure, but there's also a big part of you that needs to listen to your intuition when it comes to like moving forward and finding new love. I do see though that even though that's what you want, I don't see that like you might actually go for it either, because you have the Ace of Cups coming in reverse. Now if the Ace of Cups was upright, that means that you would be starting something new with someone, right? But because it's coming out in reverse after that, it's like despite you wanting that romance deep down, you're not ready to commit into another relationship. If anything, you're bottling up your emotions and you're like refusing to feel anything. And you're not pouring into anyone's cup right now because like you're not there yet. Despite you wanting that for yourself, you're not there yet. And then you got the Page of Wands coming in with that Ten of Swords afterwards. This is showing that you have a lot of pessimism. And right now it just seems like you're kind of lost. Like you don't really have a point of direction of where you want to go. And like everything's kind of stagnant right now. Things aren't like, you know, progressing with you, and you just kind of like don't really feel happy right now. Hold on. Yo, calm the fuck down, bro. Sorry, hold on, my fish was bugging out. You okay? Chill out. So anyways, I'm sorry. Basically, I see that you're kind of lost right now, and then you got the Ten of Swords coming in reverse, which is talking about a certain change for yourself where you might need to recover. I don't think that you are ready for a relationship. Despite you wanting romance, Taurus, from what I've read here, Like, you have a lot of like past baggage that you still need to work on. There's a lot of like things in your past that you need to like come to terms with. Like, I think you're still reflecting on how you were with handling this person. You were very possessive and smothering, and they weren't like that with you, and you felt isolated. You want romance and you want that reciprocal energy, but you didn't get it, and you're still kind of like moping on the past. You're not ready to like move forward into another relationship, because even if you do have an opportunity to do that, you're closed off. You're not necessarily opening up to them. So I do think that you need time to recover and heal, because you can't carry that old energy into the new relationship if you were to walk into a new relationship. But overall, I see that like you're going through a lot of stagnation, but just know that like your work is going to expand soon. You might end up traveling soon. So just be prepared for that, and, you know, create more time for introspection and self-reflection. But yeah, that was your reading, Taurus. If that resonated, I hope that helps you moving forward. But anywho, Virgo. I'm going to do Virgo and Capricorn. So, what are some mid-month messages for Virgo, please? You have the Strength in reverse and then the Fool card. So I see something starting soon for you, Virgo. Definitely a beginning that you're entering in, but be careful. You do have a lot of innocence and naivety going into the situation, but just watch yourself, because you might stumble across some issues. Not saying that there will be issues, but like, just be careful. But I also see here with the Strength in reverse that there's a lot of impatience and doubt that you have with this new beginning. Page of Pentacles. Ten of Wands. Ace of Wands in reverse. Wheel of Fortune. Uh-oh. Five of Wands. Three of Pentacles. And then also the King of Wands. I hear my sister moving around. It gets me anxious. Hold on. Make some room, make some room, make some room. Okay, let's read this for you, Virgo. So we have the Page of Pentacles coming in, but then the Ten of Wands. So there's definitely some opportunity that's coming your way. And we did say that earlier, that there's a beginning for you. There might be something opening up for you in your workspace, a new opportunity of some sort, or a situation where you can express some ideas in the workplace. But be careful, because I do see that you're going to be taking on much more responsibilities from here on out. I do see that you will be stressed out and taking on a lot more than you expected in this environment. There is a bit of a delay that might come across to you soon as well. And it might get you down, or there might be a misunderstanding of the sort that might come about with that Ace of Wands. Now, with the Ace of Wands in reverse, I know earlier I made a joke about it, like it being like a phallic thing. It could be that, but like at the same time, like you're too busy to be like taking on anything more than what it is. I do see here with the Wheel of Fortune, though, that this is definitely like a karmic cycle from your past life. What? Hold on. What? What? You're peeking? Sorry guys, this is my sister. Anywho, yeah, Virgo, I do think that like you have a karmic cycle here. I don't know if this is something that happens often, where like you get into this work groove where you're just kind of like doing new opportunities, doing new work and new projects, but then you take on too much projects and you get overwhelmed and depressed and feeling like you have too much responsibility on your plate. I think this might be like a karmic cycle for you, where things get good and then things get bad and it repeats itself. This is definitely something that might be like something that you did in a past life that's carrying on into this life, or it's going to be like some type of like unfinished business that you'll have to take care of in this lifetime. But the karmic wheel of fortune talks about destiny and it being a lesson from the universe. So there's something to learn for you in this experience that you'll have to eventually repeat over and over again until you get the wisdom from the experience to move past this cycle. But yeah, this is definitely something that has happened with you before and might repeat itself again. I do see some conflict coming your way though with this Five of Wands and then the Three of Pentacles. You might get into an argument with someone, or there's tension with you and another person, but there's a part of you that feels very like isolated from the situation. Like you're feeling tense and you can't really be around this person. You need to like separate yourself, but it's like there's a lot of tension involved here. And then I also see here that you might actually be a bit stubborn and ruthless when you become opinionated regarding to this conflict. Whatever conflict this is that they try to isolate you, you're just like kind of like ruthless and holding your ground and being very opinionated and not letting down from whatever conflict this is. Let's pull some hidden factors for you. What are some hidden factors for Virgo? Oh, these want to come out. Five of Wands came out again. So this conflict is going to still keep going. There's some things about this conflict you don't know. Nine of Wands, Death card in reverse, Knight of Pentacles. Six of Swords. Tower. Oh, shit, okay. King of Pentacles. The World card. Ace of Cups. Okay. Alright, let's read this for you. So regarding this competition you have, this conflict you have, it seems like the other person that you might be at odds with was feeling extremely on edge and overwhelmed. And that's why they were more on the defensive when it comes to dealing with you. I do see here with the Death card coming in reverse, there's definitely, I think the person that you were involved with in a conflict, they were on edge and overwhelmed, and that's why they resisted to the change that you're trying to impeach on the person. I think this person was purposely like holding on and holding their grounds. They didn't want to like let things end by your terms. Like despite them feeling on edge, like they just wanted to get the last like in that situation. But regardless, I think you're going to be doing just fine despite this conflict, because I see you very much a hard worker with this Knight of Pentacles. You're someone that's very reliable. You always maintain to working hard and sticking into your routine, and you're very responsible. So like regardless of what happens, you're always going to maintain this type of gesture or persona in any kind of situation. They can't break your character, basically. I do see here though there is a transitioning that is happening for you soon with this Six of Swords. You're definitely going to be leaving behind some old past baggage, because as you move on, you're going to have a tower moment. And this is very important. A tower moment means that there's a sudden change that occurs out of nowhere, and it shakes you to your core. okay? And it's gonna make you come across some revelations. And this can be a very chaotic period for you, Virgo. But just a fair warning, there might be someone here that is involved with that King of Pentacles in reverse. Someone who is very greedy and stubborn and obsessed with wealth. Be careful with that kind of person. While you're in this like shaken tower moment that shakes you to your core, like somebody's gonna try to come in and take advantage of the situation because they see it as an opportunity for them to make money. Be careful with that. But regardless, you're gonna still maintain yourself, and I do see that you're gonna come across a lot of accomplishments with the World card. I see that like you're gonna be feeling very fulfilled, and you might start traveling. And there's also a part of you that might meet someone that you have a crush on. You might offer them like a relationship or ask them out to dinner. Like you might make a gesture to show that you're interested. Or there might be a point where like you feel a little bit overwhelmed and all your emotions might be pouring out of you. Like it's either one or the other when it comes to this card in this reading. And I also see here though, there is a part of you that has a lot of negative thoughts. Like you're your own biggest critic, and it's just like no one can really like be hard on you because you're always the one hard on yourself. I do see a lot of negative like self-talk here. I'm not sure why. Sorry, I had to like fade that out. But let's pull some hidden factors for you. Hidden factors for Virgo. Six of Cups in reverse, and Seven of Swords, Eight of Cups. The Lovers in reverse. Wheel of Fortune again. Eight of Swords. The Magician in reverse. King of Cups in reverse. Death card. Two of Swords. Okay, let's read this. If I need to pull out more, I will. So I'm going to read all the cards that are upright first with their description for context purposes, and then I'm going to interpret the overall spread. So first card here is Eight of Cups. You may have realized that your current situation isn't working for you and are deciding to leave it behind. It may feel like a loss to you, but take this process of moving on as an opportunity for self-discovery. Keywords here is escapism, change, and transition. Then you got the Wheel of Fortune. Life is full of ups and downs, and those forces are sometimes out of your control. Like a spinning wheel, things come and go in a cycle. Do not be complacent during good times and during bad times. Remember that things will eventually get better. Life cycles, destiny, up and downs. And then you have the Two of Swords here. Two of Swords is about being stuck with a difficult decision and being afraid to proceed. However, lack of action may make the situation worse. A decision must be made, but only once you have all the necessary information. Keywords: indecision, need to balance, and stalemate. Okay, so let's interpret this for you, Virgo. So I see here with the Six of Cups and then the Seven of Swords, both in reverse, right? So there's a part of you here that is resisting change and staying stuck in the past. And regardless of what people are telling you, you're ignoring advice and refusing to listen. And you might break into old habits here. So, I don't know. So here's the thing. With Virgo, like, I can't really tell you what to do. When it comes down to these type of things, it's like, why do we look back at the past, right? Like, what's the purpose of doing that? Like, a lot of us do that because we want to go back to a place where we felt most safe. But we also want to revisit a memory that makes us feel good. And so it's like, if you find yourself, you know, being stuck in your past and resisting change, what does that say about you? you know? You might be a little bit childish. You might be afraid of the future. You might be resistant to even maturing. And it's just like, at the end of the day, you're doing yourself a disservice by not letting yourself move towards your future, right? Excuse me. And then, so, you have the Eight of Cups coming in with the Lovers in reverse, right? So, Eight of Cups talks about escapism while you're making a transition. And we were just talking about that. Like, I think Virgo, like, sometimes, like, there's a reason for this, right? With the Lovers in reverse, it talks about an imbalance and being a breakdown in communication. So there's a part of you, Virgo, that probably broke up with somebody or ended a connection with someone, whether that's a family relative, a friend, or like a lover. I see that like you're not over it. And this is something that happens often with you too. This is supposed to be advice, but I'm thinking the way this is coming out and then the Wheel of Fortune is like in your advice card, like this is something that happens also among other things that are happening with you, is that you have a habit of not letting go when things end and not listening to others, you know, ignoring advice and staying stuck in the past. There's something that happened in your past that you haven't really technically moved on from, and it's starting to bleed into your relationships that are no longer around either. So I think there's some introspection you need to do here, because it's going to keep happening over and over. With the Wheel of Fortune, it's definitely something that is like a life lesson that you need to spend more time to extract wisdom from, right? And now you have the Eight of Swords coming in, because then it talks about self-reflection. And it's just like, if you're tired of going through the same cycle in your head and with your connections and your past relationships, then you have to be open to change at some point. You can't keep going through the same cycle because it's not working out for you, and you're only hurting yourself at the end of the day. So if you want to move past this point, you have to be more open to change while you self-reflect, okay? Then you have the Magician coming in reverse, and then the King of Cups next to that. So this talks about some key words for the Magician here is deceit, mental illness, and disgrace. And King of Cups in reverse talks about moodiness, manipulation, and vindicative. I don't know if you did something here because you're upset. If you were maybe you were upset about something, and you try to do something that was manipulative, or maybe somebody did that to you, but it was something that was very disgraceful. And then I see the Death card in reverse, and then the Two of Swords. Resistant to change, sleep of lethargy, and indecision, nature, balance, and stalemate. Okay, basically what I'm getting here, Virgo, you messed up. Either you messed up or the other person messed up. But since this is advice for you, I'm getting the fact that like you're not getting enough sleep because deep down some shit went down where you messed up bad, and you're not like you're ashamed of it. Or maybe someone did that to you. But like, since this is advice to you, I'm guessing this is you. If it was in the hidden factors, I would guess the other person is the one who did it. But in this case, I think there's a part of you that's still stuck in the past, and instead of completely seeing it through and through from start to finish, there's parts of you that like kind of escape while thinking about the past from this person that you no longer talk to. And you need to be more open to changing yourself on how you handle this, because as you self-reflect, you're stuck in the cycle of repeating the same thing but not really focusing on the important things. And what I'm sensing here is there's some parts of you where you were very disgraceful or you were very deceitful, and it happened because it happened on a whim. Whether you were very moody or you wanted to be manipulative, like, or there was some vindication of some sort. Maybe you did it because you just wanted to be spiteful. But regardless, you're not proud of what you did because you're losing sleep over this. And you know, you're not really making any moves because you don't have a decision, because you're not done, you know, exploring this reflection where you did something. And I agree, you shouldn't do anything yet because you're still looking at things that happen. You're reflecting, and you have to fully reflect on everything, not just on what this person did and how they made you feel, but also the things that you're ashamed of. Like, why did you do that? And it's just like, I'm not trying to like point the finger at you. It's just you have to remember, everyone makes mistakes. No one is perfect. But what's important is the lesson that you get from making the mistake and not repeating it. So it's like, why did you make this mistake? Like, what was it in that moment that caused you to do that, right? Like, this is some like triggering questions I'm asking you to think about when you self-reflect, so that you better understand yourself and how you operate, so you don't make the same mistake again for someone else. Or if you decide to talk to this person again and try to make amends with them, you know what to own up for, you know? But right now is not the time to make that decision. You need more time to think things through. And this is definitely a Wheel of Fortune cycle that will keep repeating itself until like you learn the lesson here. So I think that's the most important thing here, aside from like all the other things that was mentioned. But yeah, that was your reading, Virgo. I hope that resonated. And if it did, I hope it helps you moving forward. Let's do mid-month messages for May for Capricorn. What are some mid-month messages for Capricorn? Okay, we got the Knight of Swords coming out. Hangman and Death. Okay. Okay, so Capricorn, I do see whatever ambitions or competition that you have been like striving on is about to come to an end soon. It looks like you're entering a new perspective that is disengaging you from this current path. And of course, with the Death card, things are coming to an end, but so is something beginning for you as well. Tell me more. Can you please tell me more for Capricorn? Tell me more for Capricorn, please. Four of Wands. Looks like you're celebrating something. Knight of Cups in reverse. Two of Pentacles. Hi, Sarah. Welcome in. Star card. Page of Cups. Thank you for the heart. Me and go popular. Okay. Okay, let's read this, Capricorn. So, whatever ambition you have, that you've been on a certain path, you're definitely like disengaging and entering a new perspective, which is causing an ending, but also starting a beginning with something. So here I see the Four of Wands and Knight of Cups, right, in reverse. I do see some stability coming toward, stability and like a celebration that you're going to be partaking in. But there is someone here that you cannot trust that might be coming in. I'm not sure if you're having like a home celebration and maybe relatives are coming or like friends are coming, but whatever celebration that is coming your way, Capricorn, there is someone there that is untrustworthy that might try to manipulate you in this environment. And it seems like whatever they bring, you're going to be feeling really out of like touch with yourself. I think that you're going to be feeling really unbalanced with some of the things that they're going to put on your plate. But regardless of that, I do see you starting something new. A new opportunity is coming your way where you can really be like exploring your creative self. If some of you who like to partake in art stuff or artsy projects, I do see this coming in and it's going to help you like you know, keep you grounded through the chaos that this person might bring you. But like, it's not too crazy. I do see that you are being a little bit overwhelmed though. But I think you're going to be calm with this new opportunity that's coming. And so let's see. Be careful with this Page of Cups in reverse. There might be a part of you that might be like daydreaming and not really thinking like logically about things. And people might think that you are naive because of that and try to take advantage of you. And I think that's what this person is thinking. They're thinking that they could probably take advantage of you because you're like, they see that you're naive, or maybe they think you're naive. But regardless of what happens and whatever they try to do to like keep you off balance, you are going to be taking action and releasing yourself from the situation and just walking away from it. I don't think you're going to be like entertaining or humoring whatever they try to do. And you're just like, okay, I'm over it. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to walk away. Which is pretty fair. Like, you're not here to play games, okay? Good morning. Good morning to you. Let's pull out some hidden factors for you, Capricorn. So we got the Two of Wands in reverse, the Three of Swords in reverse. What else? What are some hidden factors for Capricorn? What are some hidden messages for Capricorn, please? King of Wands, Five of Wands, both upright. Queen of Swords. Eight of Swords in reverse. Temperance in reverse. Two of Pentacles coming out again, but this time upright. Oop. Then we got the Hierophant and the Lovers in reverse. Okay, let's read this. If I need to pull more, I will. But let's go with this so far. Okay, so for your hidden factors, Capricorn, I do see here we have the Two of Wands in reverse and then the Three of Swords. So it seems like you're going to come to a point later in this month where you're going to have some inner alignment with yourself. Meaning to say that you're going to be like doing some reflection and you're going to start like thinking of things that you might need to plan on doing. Not necessarily that you are planning, because if we were planning, it would be upright. I don't think you're planning just yet. I think you're kind of like steadily going in that direction. Not quite there, but like there are some things that you want to like do and accomplish. That's like a personal goal. But I do see here as well, there's a part of you that has been releasing some pain and trying to forgive and move on from a heartbreak. Maybe that's why like you're not necessarily planning things yet. You're still kind of like recovering from something. I do see some competition and tension coming your way with others, but I'm not worried for you because like you are in your King of Wands energy. So what does that mean? I do see that like you're looking at things at the big picture and you're like going through the situation with like strong leadership energy. You are a cardinal sign. So like you're going to take lead on the situation and you're not going to let it define you. And you're going to be overcoming the challenges that's going to be coming in from here. I don't know if that's the person that was like coming up in the previous, polling, but I do see that like there is some disagreements that might come your way, but like you're going to stand firm on business. But there is somebody here coming your way with this Queen of Swords energy. This is somebody that has very strong boundaries, okay? It's somebody who might be giving a cold shoulder and is very independent, is very direct whenever they're communicating with you, like straight to the point. And I feel like this person might be intimidating to you to some extent. And you're not going to show it, of course, but there is part of you that is releasing some negative thoughts. And, you know, like, have you, like, whatever, like, you've been feeling lately, it's like you've been kind of like your inner critic lately. I think that, like, you've been really harsh with yourself, but you're pretty good at what you do. Despite how you look on the, like, on the outside, inside, you're always, like, criticizing yourself. And I think this person might be intimidating you and make you, like, think about, like, how you come across whenever you talk to them. I'm not sure if they're gonna say something that might trigger this side of you, where you are, like, thinking about things, like, negative things, but then also, like, a part of you is gonna be releasing some negative thoughts and coming to terms with yourself. I think this person might be coming off a bit harsh, but they're like, they mean well, and I think they're trying to help you, but they just have like a cold way of like coming about it. I don't know. This is a very intimidating energy, but like I do see you like, you know, getting past it regardless of the struggles that are coming your way. You will be like dealing with some. I feel like there's some like there's some things that are happening where like it's kind of like overflowing, and I do see you stressed out, but I think you're overcoming it with like certain overindulgences. Like whether you like to drink or like if you like to eat or if you like to play video games or smoke, whatever, I see you like really engaging into those like, you know, those kinds of things to deal with the stress of what you've been feeling lately. But there is multiple things that are coming your way that you're trying to balance at the same time, you know? So many projects. It seems like you're still like trying to balance everything out so you're not stressed out, but either way you're still stressed out and like indulging into things. I think you're being too hard on yourself overall though. But you're handling things really well, and on the outside, like people don't really see that you have a lot of inner turmoil that you're dealing with. I do see here that there might be some issues involving a significant other. If for some of you Capricorns who have a significant other, there might be some detachment. I don't think that you guys are necessarily separating, but I do think that your significant other might be a bit distant from you. I'm not sure if there's like some choices that you made that might have like caused them to be upset with you, but regardless, I do see that there is loyalty in this connection. It's just that like you guys are kind of going through like a rough patch at the moment. I don't know if you guys are arguing, but I don't see you guys separating. You have the Hierophant, which is like a loyalty card, so they're not going anywhere. I just think you guys are going to be like stressed out with whatever is happening here, and I do see you being impacted. And when this is all like chaotic energy, it's very hard for you to like kind of be present in the relationship if you guys have relationships. But like your partner isn't going anywhere. They're just upset, and I don't see you separating from them. I think you guys are going to be sticking it out. Let's pull out some advice for you. What's some advice that we can give for Capricorn? We got the Sun in reverse. Page of Pentacles upright. 9 of Wands in reverse. Four of Swords in reverse. Four of Cups in reverse. The Emperor in reverse. Three of Wands in reverse. Two of Cups in reverse. Knight of Pentacles upright. Three of Cups. And then we have the Temperance in reverse. Okay, let's read this for your advice. So, as always, I'm going to read all the cards that are upright with their description to give further context for advice. And then I'm going to try to interpret all the cards for all the cards that were pulled out for this section of your reading, okay? So here we have the Page of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles indicates you have big dreams and a strong, enthusiastic desire to make those dreams come true. Perhaps you are starting a new project or a job. To achieve your goals and approach your task pragmatically and keep your feet on the ground. Keywords here is dreams, enthusiasm, and opportunity. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is patient, methodical, and hardworking. Trustworthiness, reliable, and routine work are required for you right now. The work may seem dull, but they will pay off eventually. You must see all your tasks through to the end. So keyword here is practicality, steadfastness, and routine. All right, now those were all the cards that were upright. So I'm going to go ahead and try to interpret the cards that were pulled out. Okay, so we have the Sun in reverse and the Page of Pentacles. So I think there is some dreams of yours that you're very like enthusiastic about, Capricorn. But there is a part of you that has like this lingering worry or sadness, but it's not permanent. It's like temporarily like there. Like don't pay too much mind about like these negative thoughts because it's not really like the truth. And soon enough you're gonna come across that once you get to that point. But there is parts of you that seems to be like really stressed out and things are not really moving in a direction that like it's progressing. So there's some stagnation that's causing you to feel really like paranoid and hesitant. But like I do see part of you is like getting really stressed out and isolating yourself from others. I'm not sure if this is involving another person that's trying to control you with the Emperor in reverse, but there is something here. Like, I don't know if someone of like a higher rank of power or like maybe a boss that's being like really controlling, or someone in your environment is trying to control you and it's not really helping like with your mood or your situation. There is a lot of struggle coming in with that Three of Wands. This did came out earlier in reverse. Some obstacles that you might be going through, but like I don't think that's gonna stop you. It is gonna be very annoying because it's gonna come out of nowhere and you're not gonna really expect it. And there is gonna be tension between you and another person. This could be a family relative. This could be a a partner or a friend or someone that like is like a coworker, someone who's close to you. I do see that there is some tension. Some of you guys might actually be too stressed out and might separate from them for a bit, or there's just tension where you just need some space. You can't be around other people. Like earlier I said that you were being isolated because you kind of need to concentrate and get back into your regular routine. Because right now you're going through a lot and you're stressed out and it's causing you to really stress out and worry. And I see that like you're the type that likes to avoid and not try to blow up on people because sometimes you can't help it. You're going to go into this routine that's going to help you in being practical. It's going to help stabilize you because sometimes like when things happen that's outside of our control, we try to do something that helps like alleviate that need for control. And for you, I do see that you're going into a routine that's very practical for you. That's going to help stabilize you. But yeah, there is a lot of like issues I do see that might be impacting your creativity, which is going to frustrate you because I did see like you had the Star card earlier. Like that's where you can really release like some of your stress. Just don't let all this negative energy that's coming your way like overwhelm you so that like you can't release your creativity. I think that's like your safe space where you can release things and like have fun. So like when you're in that environment, Capricorn, where you do your thing and you like be creative with whatever it is that you're creative with, do not think about any of these issues, because if you are, it's gonna block you off from like you being creative, and it's gonna like be very hard for you to release all this frustration that you might be feeling. And then you got the Temperance coming at the end. I do see some separation here. I'm not sure if you're, and it said it several times, that there's tension with others, that you're isolating yourself. Just be careful, because if you do that too much, it might actually make things worse with another person. Whether this is a lover or a relative or a friend or whoever, like there's going to be some separation because there's like different interests that you and this other person might have. Just be careful with how you release your anger and don't completely cut off from the world. I know like a part of you is probably like just avoiding people because, you know, you're going through shit and you just don't want to like blow up on someone. You know, I understand that. But just be like communicative with them every now and then. Don't completely like cut off. Because then they're going to think you have issues with them. And then they're going to like try to end things with you, thinking that like there's nothing they can do to fix things. And it's just like, it's not even about them, it's about other things. So it's important to like really communicate to those people that you don't want to lose while you're going through this tough time, okay, Capricorn? But yeah, that is your reading. If that resonates, I hope it helps you moving forward.